trying to get to. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Just press green.
Good afternoon, everyone. Your Excellency, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, our President, our leader, Chief Executive Aliko Dangote, Excellencies, Governors, Honorable Ministers, welcome, distinguished colleagues, partners, and all leaders dedicated for finance, I welcome you, and I wish to stand on existing protocols. My presentation is going to speak to itself. I believe I have the privilege speaking after such a leader, Mr. Aliko Dangote. His message was very clear. We are on a journey, and we have a clear North Star for us. And as a group CFO of the company itself, it's my task today to reaffirm how we're going to go to this journey. Dangote Group itself, the journey has multiple of pillars. Starting from Africa first is the motto. This is our purpose. And industrial power. We have the global ambition and the African scale, which supports with the transformation our president has already outlined. It is important for us that we underline, we are at the crossroad becoming a powerhouse and a gateway for Africa. This journey is going to lead us to the North Star, which our president has articulated. We're going to be reaching group turnover on a consolidated basis to $100 billion. That articulates in a different manner because we are around financial leaders here. That articulates a market valuation over $200 billion. How are we going to go to this journey itself? I like to articulate. We scale for Africa. We value for our investors, and our purpose is for generations. I just like to put a diagram for you to visualize what really it entails, 100 billion turnover. We need to understand this is a very critical point of the milestone that we're at the crossroad. I'm just putting an illustration, what 100 billion revenues is going to be on the scale. You are looking for the other global companies itself. This is global Fortune 100 companies. There are only 49 of them still on this scale. We are committed to be Dangote, moving to this journey to advance the global 100. And that's going to be the leading Africa into the World League. That's going to come understanding the current landscape first. On our landscape, it's been well understood. We have the continental scale. We have the global reach and the all logistics gateway itself. We know that we are the largest integrated energy, fertilizer, cement, petrochemicals in the refinery world. We are on the continental gateway. We have the global scale. This is the picture that you are very familiar, but this is going to be the journey where our cement business has already been moving towards 80 million tons. Dangote Foods is making for the eliminating the independence of the food supply itself, and we're going to be self-resilient. Fertilizer is going to be the world's leaders, and the refinery business itself, it's just going to be world's #1, the largest refinery that we are going to build. I know that you are taking pictures of this slide because it speaks to itself, but this is the tomorrow of Dangote Group itself. We're going to go on pillars. I just like to underline how the new investment is going to be collide with the current journey itself. The ecosystem is going to be the industrial future of Nigeria and Africa. The one pillar our president has already outlined. I don't like to take his lines, but I just like to illustrate. These are all infrastructure, gas midstream, mining, data centers, power for Africa is all about industrial transformation that we are working on. These are all these pillars, we're going to be very selective on choosing the investments, And how we're going to do it, it just needs some excellence. And I like to put that one into the context. The narrative is to path to the 100 billion turnover. The phase one is going to be in the first 3 years. On the first 3 years, we're going to be delivering our organic growth. On the organic growth itself is our already facilities is getting to the optimum 100% utilization and capacity to deliver an outcome, a turnover around $71 billion. And on the phase two, we're gonna have incorporating the new investments joining to the next slides. I know that you are ready for this picture itself, but I believe we have a clear roadmap. On this roadmap, I have this year, we are anticipating closing around 18 billion. Next year, there is no doubt that we're gonna be over 32 billion. When the president announced that we're gonna be having a 30 billion turnover company, I believe many have had doubts, but we are already been realizing next year. That's why the journey to 2028 to $27 billion has all anchored with the necessary steps. And we are aware of them, how we're gonna achieve that one. And I'm gonna give a little bit detail of that one. The second phase is gonna be delivering the final part towards bringing us over 100 billion turnover. This is turnover level, but this is an organization all about economic profitability to its investors. It is not only turnover, but what is the turnover with which profitability? Because we are all after economic value, but also deliver social value to share together. We are anticipating to moving from 3 billion to tenfold to 30 billion. This is achievable because the businesses that we have the track record. There is no doubt for the Dangote Group never delivers. The thing is we have all making our decisions to building these building blocks themselves.
The sustainability of this program, which I expect will run for generations of the Dangote family, is grounded in my formal commitment to allocate 25% of my wealth to my foundation, which is actually currently formalized with my family. I have already an agreement which was drafted to make sure that yes, my inheritance, which is my inheritance, my 3 children, my mother, they have all signed up. When anything happens to me in the event of death, 25% of my wealth will go straight to the foundation. We will revisit our progress upwards in 5 years to coincide with our Vision 2030 of the Dangote Group, which we are launching today. We have Dangote Group Vision 2030. So, and I believe once we achieve that vision in 5 years, I see no reason why we will not double the effort of what we are doing today. I would like to especially acknowledge the renewed hope agenda in the education sector championed by His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu this year. I also commend the Federal Ministry of Education, the State Universal Basic Education Boards, and our state governors for the deliberate and steady efforts they are making to safeguard the welfare of our learners. Their commitment, particularly in times as challenging as this, provides a strong foundation upon which partners like us can build. For many years, our foundation has invested in community learning and school infrastructure, from university hostels across Nigeria to the Meshuka Iri, which is a program in Kano, early learning program in Kano State, which has already reached over 10,000 children and will expand further in 2026. We will continue with our existing commitments, including the Aliko Dangote School for Orphans Girls in Maiduguri, where our annual budget starting now will be 500 million naira commitment, which will remain as long as the school is in existence. The Aliko Dangote University of Science and Technology will also receive our commitment of 15 billion over the next 3 years, where we will build the infrastructure required to turn it into a world-class university. In the years ahead, we will invest even more in quality of learning, teacher training, school systems, and modern supportive learning environments. But today, the urgent need is financial relief. This is where we begin. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I have always believed that Africa is our responsibility and our destiny lies in our hands. Today's initiative reflects that belief. To the young people of Nigeria, I say this: your dreams matter, your education matters, your future matters. We believe in you, we are investing in you, and we are committed to ensuring that you do not walk this journey alone. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the future of Nigeria must not be defined by the children who fail to educate. We must educate them, we shouldn't fail to educate them. It must be defined by millions we empower, uplift, and prepare for leadership. This initiative is our contribution to that future, a future where every child has opportunity to learn, to aspire, and to achieve. My hope is that this 100 billion initiative inspires others to join us, because when we invest in our children, Nigeria wins. When we lift one student, we lift a family, a community, and ultimately our nation. Your Excellencies, thank you all for attending. I would like to say a few words from the bottom of my heart. Your Excellency, Mr. Vice President, I want to really thank you for always encouraging us, supporting us, giving us that hope that, look, Mr. President, you always call me Mr. President, don't give up. Mr. Vice President, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. The governors that we have, some of them, they have actually sent their apology. You know, there was a big storm around the airport. Most of them, they have come, including Attorney General of the Federation. The aircraft actually turned back to Abuja because they couldn't land, but they sent their apologies. So thank you very much for listening, and I really appreciate you. I want to also announce that Oni came in, just His Highness came in, His Royal Majesty came in just as I was giving my speech. So, Your Highness, I'll give you, Your Majesty, I'll give you my copy of the speech so that you can catch up with what I've said. But thank you very much. I know it takes, quite a lot to bring you down here, but thank you very much, yourself and your entourage. So thank you very much for joining. So let me allow the program to continue.
Members of the National Assembly, captains of industry, I have seen Elijah Abdul Samad, who came in to greet us. Your Majesty, our leader, the Oni of Ife, who is a co-chair of the National Council of Traditional Rulers of Nigeria. He sits in that capacity with His Majesty, the Sultan of Sokoto. My brother that came with me from Nasarawa State, the Andoma of Doma. All the other special and invited guests, including the honorable ministers that are here, the two ministers, and all the special guests. Let me begin my Goodwill message with a brief quote on investing in people. It says, and I quote, "Human capital is the most important investment we can make." McKinsey and Company. The above depicts a focal, yet historic event we are gathered to celebrate today. I sincerely congratulate Alhaji Aliko Dangote. Honestly, Alhaji Aliko needs more of our prayers, support, and encouragement for being a truly committed, passionate, exceptionally patriotic Nigerian. I watched him in his recent video, which is now trending, where he asked other successful Nigerians like him to put preference to job creation over and above luxuries of private jets and limousines. I am still not sure when my name was mentioned to chair this foundation. I am only a retired justice of the Supreme Court of Nigeria and now a traditional ruler. I do not have a background in the education sector. All my life, I spent exactly 40 years of unbroken service in the Nigerian judiciary. I've never worked one day outside of the judiciary. So I wondered whether I could be the best choice to do this job. But I want to thank the executive governor of Nasarawa State, my state. I don't know, he suggested my name, and Alhaji Aliko Dangote accepted. I thank you for this honor. And this honor is born out of trust. Because if it is given to someone like me who, Avalia said, do not have any experience in the education sector, but we are asked to come and discharge trust, this is a very heavy responsibility. The word trust, our Creator, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah in his infinite mercy created the word trust. And he sampled that to us in the Holy Quran. He said he had proposed the word trust to the heavens and the earth, and all the rocks and mountains which are the pillars of the earth, if they could take the word trust, all of them in total submission, said to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is too heavy for us. The son of Adam, and that is us, we accepted. And Allah, in his infinite mercy, looked at us, the son of Adam, and said, this word trust you have accepted. And Allah described us in the Holy Quran, gave us one name, Innahu kana zaluman jahula. What does that mean? This is a heavy responsibility. We want to assure you, Alhaji Aliko Dangote, we will do our best in the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala not to fail you in this trust that you have given to us. I was really a bit disturbed at the beginning when I ran through the list of those of them who will support us in discharging this responsibility. And as I was walking into the hall, I saw Paul Usoro, SAN. Paul is not only a learned brother, but a personal friend of mine. And I said to Paul, I've seen your name listed amongst those that will carry on this responsibility. I now feel very comfortable that, Paul, you give me some protection when we are together. And indeed, this is a formidable team. And with this team, I have no doubt we will do our best to ensure that we will not fail the foundation, fail this country, and fail Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Let me say that we are gathered to witness a very symbolic occasion in different ways. It is symbolic in the sense of being to us and what we know, the singular largest individual contribution to supporting education by way of scholarship and grants to enhancing teacher training and supporting infrastructure development in Nigerian education sector, amongst others. I know I have little experience about what the education sector is like, by the grace of the Almighty, and I want to thank especially the Executive Governor of Kano State, who is seated here. Not too long, he appointed me as the Chancellor of the Northwest University in Kano. I thank you so much, Your Excellency, for finding the confidence in me. Earlier on, less than 2 weeks, I was with my brother in Maiduguri, the Vice President, and my other brother, the Executive Governor of Borno State. We were there to attend the convocation of the University of Maiduguri, which by the grace of Allah, I'm the Chancellor of the university. And just last Saturday again, I was in Port Harcourt, yet as Chancellor of the River State University, Port Harcourt. This has given us some little insight into what the state of the university education is in our country. This is a great challenge that Alhaji Aliko Dangote has taken upon himself as an individual, the largest that was ever done by a single individual, to use his resources and extend benefit to over 1,325,000 Nigerian students, cumulatively for over a period of 10 years, at a whopping cost of over 1 trillion. This is truly unprecedented. This is phenomenally remarkable and exceptional. Tens of millions of Nigerian youth will benefit over a period of 10 years and beyond. The multiplier effects of this on Nigerian human capital development, social index, and overall economic prosperity is absolutely significant and unprecedented. May Allah reward you abundantly. What else can we beseech Allah for Alhaji Aliko Dangote except to continue to pray for him? May Allah continue to be with you in the course of your support for the development of humanity and our fatherland. On behalf of my leader there seated, the Oni and the Andoma, and His Eminence the Sultan, who is not here, and all the traditional rulers of this country, and as fathers of the land, we thank you for looking after the youth of this country with this gift that Allah has given to you. And in return, this is what you are paying back. to your country, and to humanity. Congratulations to you and the team of the executive officers who are with you in the Dangote Foundation. Congratulations in advance to all beneficiaries as they partake in God's grace through Alhaji Aliko Dangote. We pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will raise many more in future, the Aliko Dangotes. We pray that we can have more of you in this world. And that is to have the opportunity, among others, to sustain some of these remarkable legacies. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless the foundation. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
Please put your hands together for those wonderful. Launch the Aliko Dangote Foundation Scholarship Initiative aimed at removing financial barriers to education. These young women remind us of what is possible when talent meets opportunity and when young people are empowered to think, create, and lead. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in putting your hands together as they are here on stage right now. And they are the wonderful girls of SmartGenX, Africa's 2025 Company of the Year winners. Please put your hands together for them. And at this point, I believe they would like to share some remarks very quickly to tell us quickly about their journey and also recognize us for today. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Good day, everyone. My name is Abdulfatah Rukaya Alubankudi, the CEO of SmartGenX, and we are from Intercontinental Schools, Darul Nuba Intercontinental Schools, Kano. The experience with Junior Achievement Nigeria has been very stressful. It was draining, but it was very life transformative. We learned a lot, very educative. The program Junior Achievement Nigeria is a very wonderful program which I will recommend for every student out there. Very educative, very life transformative. You learn a lot. You meet students from different parts of the world where you communicate, share ideas, and also understand their way of life. I would like to give a big thank you to Alhaji Aliko Dangote and also Aliko Dangote Foundation for this amazing opportunity and for his unwavering support of Junior Achievement Nigeria. His support of Junior Achievement Nigeria has made our participation in the Company of the Year competition possible, and he has opened doors in which we would never imagine at our age. As young girls from Kano State, standing on this stage, we are very proud, knowing that we are representing Northern's excellence, hard work, and the limitless potential of girls everywhere. As girls, we stand today knowing that even girls can provide solutions that affect the millions of lives. I would also like to give a big thank you to the founder and the principal of our group of schools, Hajia Dr. Hadiza Nuhu Yusuf Baba, who is also the founder of Nurul Rahman Voluntary Schools for Orphans, which currently has about 100 students that is currently in the orphanage schools. Because a big thank you to her for her motivation and her support. She has been a really big motivator from the very idea to the final stage. Thank you so much. Thank you for believing in our future.
Before I ask you give them another round of applause, I would just like to let you know that we only briefed them this morning to give opening remarks. This speech was not rehearsed, and I am beyond impressed. Yeah? Ladies, and to the wonderful school and to the company, we thank you very much for representing Nigeria very well, and we wish you all the best as you represent our wonderful continent, Africa. Thank you so much. All right. All right, thank you very much. We're now going to move on, and we're going to bring up one of our royal fathers.
Your Excellency, the President, the father of our nation, ably represented here by the Vice President, one of the most intelligent leader we have ever produced in our country. His Excellency, Senator Kashim Shettima, to stand on all existing protocol because of time, but for me, I will give honor to whom honor is due. Today, I thank God Almighty for one man. There's a man that we normally use when people are walking. We call them four-man. Is the only man that is indeed four-man and one man. I call him the President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, Private Sector, Alhaji Aliko Dangote. I know none of us can dispute that fact here. Am I right or wrong? Thank you very much. So the name stands forever. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, today I'm very fulfilled that I'm here. Very difficult for me to make it because it's my 10th year coronation anniversary and I've been hosting a lot of dignitaries in my community. Over the past few days, as I'm even talking to you, the President of Ghana and Botswana, they are actually within the confines of the community. But I said I must come here today to honor the President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, Private Sector. I have a very short story to say here today. 2 days ago, I called Chief Edward. I said, where is my invitation? I don't know about this thing. Oh, KBC, you are busy. Will you be able to make it? I said, Mr. President, Private Sector told me 5 days ago, and I've made up my mind that I will come because I have a story to share. 8 years ago, I ascended the throne. 10 years, I said earlier on. Something very unfortunate happened in my community. There was a big fracas between the Hausa community and Yoruba community, and we had loads and loads of loss of life and property. My brother, His Highness, the Emir of Kano, Emir Sanusi Lamido, I called him, we're very close. He came, I said, you have to spend more than 2 days with me in my community. This is too much for me. He came around, we went to the scene. We were all in very deep tears. What we saw was really bad. We pulled some resources together, and right in the car, he said, KBC, this is beyond us. Let me call Aliko. Immediately, he called him, he picked this call. They spoke in Hausa. I heard, Nike, Kudi. So immediately I heard Kudi. Everybody in Nigeria knows Kudi. So I was very relieved. So I started praying to God that, Kudi has finally come. And lo and behold, the Kudi arrived. I spoke with Alhaji Aliko Dangote. He immediately sent the number of Zoera. Is Zoera here? Please raise up your hand. Are you here? Oh, perfect. It's a very life story. So when that Kudi arrived, I told His Highness, let's turn back, let's go, and let's be more very boldened and encouraged to talk to these people. Because they were very angry, they couldn't even stand us. So we went back. I saw a little boy. The boy kept crying. Said, my books got burnt. My books, my father, my mother, they were laborers. They struggled to buy this for me. I did child labor to even join them to buy. We stopped and we picked that boy up. And lo and behold, the Kudi arrived my kingdom. And what I said to Zoera, I said, it's not enough because the thing that happened, but what he sent, I won't mention the figure, but it was a lot of kudi. So I took a bit out of that money. I told the boy, I said, what do you want to become? He said, I want to become a lawyer. Fantastic. I said, I will give you the seed money. Go and buy some of your books that got burnt. Keep trying or keep supporting. Mr. President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, private sector. Today, the boy is a lawyer. Thanks to you. Please, let us appreciate him. You don't know what you have done. What made me to be delayed a bit today, I wanted to bring him. He said he wanted to come and prostrate for you. But we didn't tell him on time. That was actually what happened. I will still bring him to you, our normal dinner when I have in your house. I will bring him to prostrate to you to show appreciation. Today is a lawyer and he's so proud of what you have done. You don't know how you have impacted so many lives. You came on stage, you mentioned that 25% of your wealth will go into education. You don't know, it's even more than that. You will live longer. Nothing will happen to you. You are still young. I told you what next after your refineries. You said, Kabiyesi, I'm tired. Go and look for some other young people. Don't pray for me again for this. You keep praying for me, but I am tired. I want to rest. Look at my hair, gray hair. He's lost so much weight then, too much pressure. But last time I saw him, I said, President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, private sector. You are becoming robust now. You are even shaking now. Now you need to do another plant. I said, Kabiyesi, help me. I said, we need you to continue to showcase your prowess, your strength for our country. Your Excellency, we are very proud of you. You have done well for this country. You don't know the impact of what you have done in this world. You don't know the impact of what you have done in the black race. You don't know, in another 200 years' time, you will know. I'll give you a good example of one man that came to this world. His name is Alfred Nobel. 18th century, he was the wealthiest within a Swedish man. He invented dynamite. They took that invention and they started blowing the world in 18th century. And he said, no, this is not the reason why I invented this thing. He wrote his will and said everything should go into peace price. Since I invented something and they are using it to destroy the world, but now I'm not happy, I want to rest in my grave. Today, that man, after 200 years, is still popular. What you have done, you said you've told your 2 daughters, your family, that 25% will go into education. Let me tell you, your girls have so much empathy. Anything they make, they are still bringing it back to Aliko, the foundation. Let me tell you the truth. Everything that you think you've done, heaven sees everything. May God bless you. May God continue to honor you. On behalf of all the traditional rulers of this country, you've done us so well. You've picked out of us to make part of you and to make part of his foundation. God bless you, and God bless your dynasty, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you very much.
To take us through. Please put your hands together for him as he comes on stage.
Okay, to go to next time. Okay. Let me begin by acknowledging a Vice President, Senator Kashim Shettima. Thank you so much for the granularity you brought to governance. You're always there for the president, for the country, and the people of Nigeria. We appreciate you. Please. And also let me acknowledge all the governors that are here today, from the governor of Lagos State, Borno State, Kano State, Nasarawa, and Gombe. Thank you for finding time, despite the heavy downpour today, for getting here on time. Thank you for all your services to our country. And also, to the person while we're here today, Alhaji Aliko Dangote, your benevolence that you've shown to every citizen of this country. It's not unrecognized. On behalf of the people of Nigeria, I thank you, and may Almighty Allah continue to bless you and make this Sadaka Jariyah for you. Thank you. Also, the Deputy Chief of Staff, Senator Adija, thank you. The Honorable Minister of State for Education, and our royal fathers. I'll use Oni of Ife as a point of reference, and Emir of Lafia. And thank you for the passionate, from the heart, remark that you gave. And Alhaji Abdulsamad, thank you for your service to our country. And to the UN representative that is here, Mr. Mohammed Frost, thank you. And the CEO of Dangote, Zora. These are started in September. And we said we will launch this by December. This is what the tenacity, the sophistication of Aliko Dangote Foundation brings to fore. Thank you so much. And I'll pick on one of my dear brother, Mr. Haik Imokudi. I recognize you. Thank you for your service to education delivery as well in the country. We have several head of agencies of the Federal Ministry of Education that are here today. JAM, the Registrar of JAM, NEF Fund, and Nigerian Board for Technical Education. I'll tell you why they're all here later. And to our students, this is all for you. We ensure that you came in here today for full representation. All the student leaders here, I use you as a point of reference to the millions of students out there in our country. Industry leaders as well, ladies and gentlemen. What we're doing here today is really a big deal. Why is it a big deal? 100 billion naira a year over year for 10 years. 1 trillion naira being invested in pure human capital development. In pure brain gain in areas of STEM, skills, and more importantly, girl-child education. This is not investment in human capital infrastructure. Not that the infrastructures do not matter, but this is pure brain development. Now, let me go into why this is a big deal. Thank you. Oh, God. Okay, no, God. I'll give everyone some concept here. In areas of girl-child, in 2025, with total enrollment in our country, 55% male, 45% females. Almost 20 years after, we only had just about 4% gain in women going to school. And let's look at women completing high school. 27% of people who complete primary school, of those, 48%. And let's go to senior secondary school. 46% completion rate, and just 45% in women. So we're still not educating enough women. And the easiest way and the most potent way to break poverty is to educate a girl child. Once you do that, you've broken that cycle of poverty completely and forever. Also, another critical area is an area of skills. Today, we have over 90% of our jobs that are being done today in Nigeria in the informal sector. We have less than 2% of youth are enrolling in TVET, technical and vocational education and training, with over 40% youth employment. So, what we're doing here, with almost 170,000 scholarships that will be given to students to do TVET in the next 10 years, it's a big deal. Now, why, like you said, I was chasing him around. When he called me about the scholarship, it fitted into our Nigeria Education Sector Renewal Initiative, which is moving Nigeria from a resource-based economy into a knowledge-based economy. Clear outcomes, reduction in out-of-school children, reduction in learning poverty, and increase in skills and human capital for the labor market, aligning our education to meet the labor market. What are these components of our next Nigeria Education Sector Renewal Initiative? The big three: equitable access to basic education, inclusive quality education and learning outcomes, and strengthen governance and management with several cross enablers, including data and digitalization. Now, over 6 high priority areas. What we're doing here today captures 3 out of them. Our expansive agenda to STEM education, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and medical sciences, TVET, and girl-child education. Now, what does this scholarship do? Target the students who are in need. This will be purely based on merit all across the country. Exams will become, amplitude tests will be conducted by Joint Admission Matriculation Board. We would put merit into it. And it will, as Alhaji Aliko Dangote said, it will be tiered based on the highest areas of needs. All across the 774 local governments in the country will benefit from this scholarship. From the one for STEM, girl-child education, and the TVET one. And what does it? And then we've also built, the foundation has also built inclusivity into this. 5% of the enrollment will be targeted to disabled children all across the various areas. And what does it cover? It covers the entire fee being paid at those schools, instructional materials and stationaries, feeding, uniform, monthly stipend, and also for the girls, it will also cover your hygienic pads. So this covers everything. Once you're on this scholarship, if you start from the secondary school level, it takes you to your entire career. As I said, it has a nationalistic spread. Every single local government of the 774 local government will benefit. Another reason why I said this is a big deal. 1.3 million people will be covered in 10 years. But let me go to this column of girl-child. The matrix has been carefully designed by the ADF team. They know how they put it together. But let me just talk about the first 3. For the girl-child, the secondary school scholarship, the MHF, will be $10,000 each every year, from GSS 1 to SS3. So year 1, year 2, 10,000, and it will cascade upward. By year 4, there'll be 10,000 people admitted, being covered. Now, fast forward 10 years from now, 170,000 students, girl-child, would have gone to school. It's just not that number. Look at what will happen to the offspring, to that family. You're talking about millions of people with poverty being broken. This is what we call human capital development. I think we need to give Alhaji Dangote a big round of applause for doing this. Also in area of TVET, where we're creating skill sets that our industry needs to move to drive our economy forward. Our President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has promised to turn this economy into $1 trillion economy in the next 5 years. So what are the areas? Not that there's any discrimination here in people doing social sciences, but then we need to focus on the key areas that matters to grow in our economy. These are the key areas of STEM, mechanical and electrical engineering, civil engineering, applied mathematics, AI, robotics and machine learning, agriculture and livestock farming, medicine, dentistry, pharmacy, nursing, and accounting. Alhaji chose accounting because he wants to create more accountants for the country. Thank you. And for the girl child as well, we'll focus heavily on science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and medical sciences. With a TVET, technical and vocational education and training, we'll focus on direct skill set that have the most impact into creating oiling and manufacturing sector, renewable energy, electrical installation, AI, and other areas. There's sustainability built into this. You heard Alhaji, the financial sustainability is key. That's the driver. But then, for it to be sustainable, you have to use government system. Because if ADF, Aliko Dangote Foundation, just says they want to do this themselves, the government is big. And when they conceived this idea, the first point of call was to call us at the Federal Ministry of Education. They didn't even do anything. They said, let's start the design together. Let's start a discussion together. And we brought, for sustainability today, I have the CEO of Nigeria Education Loan Fund here. They've built a robust platform where they deliver funds to school. They have all the universities, polytechnics, colleges of education, all on their platform. Enroll using biometric, NIN. So that system is working effectively. So ADF will use NEF fund to deliver the funds, the tuition, the school fees to the students, even the monthly stipend. Then we have joint admission matriculation here. They will conduct standardized amplitude tests for all students that will benefit for the STEM scholarship that will go to the universities. This is going to be merit-driven. We're picking the best in our country. We're encouraging people to show up, to put in their best. So JAM will be the one conducting that merit-based amplitude test for all enrollees in this program, from the STEM and also for the students that will go to the secondary school, the girl child. A National Identity Management Commission is also part of this. Will ensure that every single student that get enrolled has a NIN number, proven. We also have a Federal Scholarship Board that will give logistic advice to Aliko Dangote Foundation as we move along. Again, I need to thank Alhaji Aliko Dangote for your benevolence and for even thinking of doing this. And I encourage all other well-meaning Nigerians to follow suit. Thank you so much.
Senator Kashim Shettima, Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Alhaji Aliko Dangote, the founder and president, chief executive of the Dangote Group, my sister Zuera Yusufu, the CEO of Dangote Foundation, Excellencies, friends. For several decades, Alhaji Aliko Dangote has held firm to a conviction that our Africa is our responsibility and that our continent's future lies in our own hands. Few embody this belief more powerfully. A visionary leader whose work has shown that when African leadership meets African ambition, transformation follows in people's lives. Through the Aliko Dangote Foundation, he has translated that conviction into action, demonstrating that development is not an aspiration, but a responsibility and a lived experience that we must all carry forward. For years, the foundation has invested in the systems and structures that allow societies to thrive, strengthening health, nutrition, and community well-being across Africa. By building these foundations, he has created environments where children can learn and families can aspire to their rights and to their aspirations. It is this deliberate work of nurturing the broader development ecosystem that enables education to take root in lifelong learning and truly prosper for all people. Today's innovative scholarship program extends that legacy, opening doors for the next generation of Nigerians at a moment when they need it most. Right now, the global financing gap for education stands at nearly $100 billion each year. Families across Africa, especially the poorest, bear the burden in impossible choices between paying school fees and meeting basic needs for survival. These scholarships help remove those burdens entirely. They support the full education pathway, from STEM degrees to technical and vocational training, and critically, to support secondary school for girls, who too often face the steepest hurdles. 10,000 girls through the MHF Scholars Program will stay in school, complete their studies, and step confidently into a future they should always have been theirs. I know what becomes possible when girls are given this chance. I have watched our amazing daughters, Maria, Halima, and Fatima Dangote, grow into the remarkable women and leaders that they are today, because someone believed in their potential and invested in their education without hesitation. That is what these scholarships represent, not just degrees, but the tools to lead, not just opportunity, but the confidence to speak, not just support, but the power to shape what comes next, defining the narrative for Africa and its young people. What comes next depends on Africa's greatest resource, its young people. More young Nigerians will now gain the skills and the knowledge that is needed to build the resilient, inclusive, and modern economy this nation is creating, and to help deliver on the promises of the 2030 and 2063 agenda that we all share. Alhaji Aliko Dangote's continued leadership and commitment to human development are central to this effort. His investments, from industry to philanthropy, continue to move Nigeria and Africa closer to a future we envision. A continent defined not by its challenges, but by its potential and its achievements. The United Nations stands with you in this mission. This scholarship program is exactly the kind of bold catalytic investment that can change the trajectory of a nation. We are ready to stand and support you as you expand and deepen this work, transforming education outcomes to meet the demand of a new era of technology and innovation. Finally, to the scholars who will benefit from this program, study with purpose, lead with integrity, honor the investment made in you by putting your head down to study. And when you succeed, as I know you will, reach back and lift up others that are less fortunate. Where Africa goes next will be in your hands, and I'm very excited to see what you will achieve for yourselves, for your family, and for your country. Be the change that we need. Thank you.
Your Excellency, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, you are the Vice President of both the private sector and the public sector, So you are the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, a man that I truly proud of. I'm really reflective of what political leadership it's all about. Thank you very much for your great strength, for the energy you brought onto this job, and for the leadership you continue to show all of us. We're truly, truly, truly proud of your leadership. Thank you very much, Mr. Vice President. Thank you. My brother governors that have taken time to come and honor one of Africa's finest, the governor of Nasarawa, Gombe, Borno, Kano, and of course, Lagos, standing on your behalf of all of you. Thank you all very much for coming. captains of industries that are here, from the honorable ministers of education, CME, and to our leader, our brother, our friend, a completely detribalized African, because it's gone beyond Nigeria now, a completely detribalized African, the leader of the private sector. We'll call him our own and only Alhaji. Alhaji Aliko Dangote, a man that truly continues to tell us what great leadership, is. Thank you very much. Through you, to acknowledge other captains of industry, all your mentees that are struggling very, very hard to add several zeros to their numbers, but they're still struggling. It's still a work in progress for them. All of them are here to come and support you. To Alima, to Fatima, thank you very much. Gentlemen of the press, to our students that are also here, ladies and gentlemen. I stand here on behalf of my brother governors. I don't know if they're all still going to speak, but I'm holding the mic. But I stand here on behalf of all of them to thank very warmly Alhaji Aliko Dangote and the Aliko Dangote Foundation for bringing purposeful leadership to the fore, for telling us and for showing us some of the things that we should be doing also, and supporting us in the public sector, for being a real partner. The man has choices. He has options in everything, but he chose to take another first. And he has not just taken the first, he has taken it with a bold step. He has taken it with a bold initiative. For some of us that continue to watch Alhaji Aliko using the Dangote Foundation, especially in the last 6 years, he has continuously shown to us what philanthropy truly is about and how wealth can be extremely very distributive. Alhaji, we want to thank you. We want to thank you on behalf of all the 36 governors of the country for showing us, and for encouraging us, for wanting to be partners with us, because you truly, really have done things that are unimaginable sometimes. You are using your resources, your wealth, to change not just today's future, but the leaders we're all baking for tomorrow. So we want to thank you. And we want to say that, like the minister said, that it is a partnership that we believe will outlive you, will outlive all of us, because you are indeed creating that future, that tomorrow for the young girls, the young boys, and the young leaders that will be leaving behind. And you're doing it by ensuring that on a sustainable basis, right, it's something that will even outlive you. Like Kabiesi had said, you live long. You live very, very, very long. But this will live after you. And we're believing that the lives that this will change, the souls that this will touch, will be very transformative, and want to thank you. We want to say to you, and I think the minister has said it, that this will not be a wasted investment. This will truly, and like you've said in your speech, it's only when we invest in education that we can eradicate complete poverty. It's only when we invest in education that we can give hope, we can give belief, we can give tomorrow for everyone alive. And that's what you have done, and that's what this foundation and this initiative is about. The numbers are actually mind-boggling, hundreds of thousands year on year, and you are committed trillions over the next couple of years into this. We want to thank you, sir. I want to assure you that this is a partnership that we will make it work. Not only at the Federal Ministry of Education alone, each and every of my brother governors, sitting down here, I'm sure nodding their heads, it has to be a partnership that we will truly, truly make work. Whatever it is we need to design together, whatever it is in the identification process, in the process of ensuring that it becomes very sustainable and very enduring, we will give you the assurance. Zuera, where are you again? We will give you the assurance that we will work with you and will ensure that it's a model that will be an African successful model. But for some of us, we're not surprised. We're not surprised, and I'm sure you will see me being very partial now. Alhaji is baked, cooked, mayonnaise in Lagos. And this is how we do it. And, out of his almost, 70 years now, Alhaji has lived better part of the 55 in Lagos. So we're not surprised at all that he has been, a transformative, leader that the state and your state of excellence have also been over the last couple of decades that we've seen. And that transformative is also a reflection of what our leader, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is also preaching to all of us. So you can see that Alhaji has somewhere, somehow, fit into the renewed hope in some form or shape. I think the minister have also said it. We want to thank you. But Alhaji, we're not going to leave you on this journey alone. For us as a government, it's also important for us to say what are the things we've also moved. We've done several things together. COVID is there, and we broke all the glass ceilings. And we can see that each time we work together, we will not disappoint you. But for us as a government, I can stand here as a governor for the past 6.5 years and say to you that year on year, we'll ensure that we keep close to 10% of our capital budget on education. We've done the same thing this year again. We've announced our budget, and I was just asking the minister that what is your percentage? He said 7.5. Well, mine is about 10%. And so you can see that we're on this journey together. We've built more classrooms. We've taken a lot more delivery on furniture and teacher employment in the last 5 years that we've done in the last 20 years. And we're beginning to see the effect of it. Students coming out from pass of WAEC, Maths and English had grown when we came in at about 48, 49%. We're doing about 80, 81% now. So those investments are indeed making. We came in and we had only one state university. Our government has added 2 new universities to it. So Nelfon can confirm today we have 3 state universities in Lagos. We met only 5 vocational training institutes. We're building 2 additional ones to make them 7. In Ajegunle alone, maybe you come and help us commission. We're building 33 schools. 33. It will be the largest school complex, in the country. We're building them, and these are the feeder pillars. These are the throughputs that this investment, the training and everything you want to do. These are the places where they will feed in and they will work, with those initiatives. So it's a partnership that we believe that we needed, and you have shown us that leadership. All my other friends need to do is to just cut and paste. If you have done 100,000, Ike is there, is checking the numbers. Maybe we'll do 75,000. Maybe we'll do 75,000, and there's several of them here. Adaura, it's not you. So just tell our Uncle Jim, he will do like 85,000. We don't want anybody to reach 100,000 yet. And that's how we want to begin to see it. Samad is looking at me. Samad will bring maybe 93, 94,000, very, very close to the 100,000. And that's how we can indeed develop, this country. We can give the belief, ensure that not one child will be out of school. Not one child will not be given an opportunity to create their own future. And so once again, Alhaji, we want to thank you. We want to assure you that we will work in whatever form or shape that will ensure that this succeeds, and it succeeds very, very well. And the children, like Oni of Ife had said, the several ones that they have done even before now that you don't know, their heads and the support that you've given to them will not go unnoticed. Once again, on behalf of the people and government of Lagos, we're truly proud to be a part of this, and want to thank you once again. We want to say that this is a partnership that is indeed gladdening, that is warming to our heart, and that is one that we take very, very seriously. Thank you very much, and let's enjoy the rest of the event.
Thank you, sir.
Your Excellencies, Alhaji Aliko Dangote, governors, ministers, friends, thank you so much for honoring our invitation today. Thank you for all the support through the years, everybody that we've worked with, that we will work with in the future. Thank you very much. I'm very honored today because we've been thinking about how we would do education, how do we implement this education pillar. And I'm just really grateful to my boss, Alhaji Aliko Dangote, for having this amazing vision that gingers us in the foundation and gives us the energy and the drive to continue to implement for the people of Nigeria. So thank you all for coming.
Kindly sit down, please, kindly. The Executive Governor of Lagos State, Mr. Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu, the Executive Governor of Gombe State and Chairman Northern Governors Forum, Alhaji Muhammad Inuwa Yahya, the Executive Governor of Borno State, Professor Babagana Umara Zulum, MNI, the Executive Governor of Kano State, Engineer Abba Kabir Yusuf, the Executive Governor of Nasarawa State, Engineer Abdullahi A. Sule, the Deputy Governor of Kaduna State, Dr. Hadiza Sabwa Balarabe, President and Chief Executive Officer of Dangote Group, Alhaji Aliko Dangote, GCON, and the management team of the organization are members of the Dangote family, the Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of Boa Group, Alhaji Abdul Samad Rabiu, the Honorable Minister of Education, Dr. Moruf Tunji Alausa, the Honorable Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Mr. Wale Eudun, the Honorable Minister of State for Education, Professor Suwaiba Said Ahmed, the Deputy Chief of Staff to the President, Senator Ibrahim Hassan Hadija, the UN Coordinator and UN Assistant Secretary General, Mr. Malik Pal, and other members of the Diplomatic Corps, heads of government agencies and parastatals. I have seen the NIMSI Chief Executive Officer, His Imperial Majesty, the Oni of Ife, Oba Ade Enitan Oguwusi, Ojaja II. His Royal Highness, the Emir of Lafia and Chairman Steering Committee, Aliko Dangote Foundation Scholarship Program, Justice Muhammad Sidi Bage, retired II. The Group Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of Venice Bank, Dame Adaura Umeji, and other captains of industry and development partners present here, the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the Aliko Dangote Foundation, Ms. Zoira Yusufu, distinguished invited guests, members of the Post Eastern of the Rim, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I am quite glad to see Alhaji Abdul Samad Rabiu seated here. These are two of the major players in the Nigerian economic firmament. We gain a lot as a nation when they sing the same song than when they are at loggerheads. In 2022, two major financial dynasties merged when Joseph Rothschild's RIT Capital bought into Rockefeller Financial Services to create a financial behemoth. As I was seated, I was reflecting. If Boa Group and Dangote Group are to merge, they will create an earthquake in the Nigerian financial scene. Boa Foods PLC was listed at 40 naira. The share price is now 692 naira. My greatest regret is that I never got to buy your shares before it went that high. The market capitalization is now almost 11 trillion naira. Dangote Cement's share price is 616 naira, and with a total capitalization of 9.8 trillion naira. And Bismarck Rewan, my very good friend, a very intellectually robust man, who is in the room, project that Dangote refinery is worth between $30 to $32 billion if you add projected earnings. He believes that if it is listed next year, it will add 100 trillion naira to the Nigerian capital market. I want us to imagine a scenario where these two gentlemen fuse into one. They will create a monopoly. So be it. What we want is to fight poverty, create jobs, give hope to the hopeless. I'm quite glad you are here, and I believe this is the beginning of greater things to come between the two of you. No place in the world does the reality of demographic expansion call for greater vigilance than in Nigeria. But instead of allowing ourselves to be overwhelmed, we have come to recognize a simple and stubborn truth. Our numbers are only a liability when we fail to educate our people. A nation's population becomes its burden only when it is unprepared for the demands of a changing world. We have already paid a heavy enough price for this failure to be ready across generations. I join you today as a stakeholder in the redemption of our education system and to pay tribute to a man who remains Nigeria's most extraordinary gift to the world. Like the hairless comet, the likes of Alhaji Aliko appear only once in every generation. Alhaji Aliko Dangote, through his far-reaching philanthropy, has set in motion the single largest private sector education support intervention in the history of this country. What he has done here today is a lesson to each of us. This is future-proofing the Nigerian nation in the most intentional way. The greatest tragedy of the dysfunctions that have burdened our education system, which we inherited and have confronted with absolute resolve, is not simply the cascade of policy failures across generations. The deeper tragedy lies in the refusal to see education as the surest flight to a promised future by those who ought to be its loudest evangelists. Those who should stand shoulder to shoulder with government in the noble duty of shaping citizens for a civilization in urgent need of disciplined minds and enlightened hearts. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, each person in this room is here today because someone before us believed in education. Someone somewhere taught as we now think. Education is a burden carried by those who have experienced its transformative power, whether as government, as private individuals, or as corporate actors. Each of us is a stakeholder in the survival of our education system. And there is no better time than now for us to confront the consequences of demographic acceleration. A useful population is a global asset only when it is educated. Without education, it becomes a threat to itself and to the nation that houses it. We come from a difficult history. Formal education was once treated as an intrusion. It was seen as an affliction. It was seen as a scheme to estrange children from their heritage. The residue of that suspicion, the gap that misunderstanding created, still weighs heavily upon our national progress. And no miracle can close it. No rhetoric can erase it. It requires deliberate effort by each of us to end a needless cycle of failure that has persisted for far too long. This is why Alhaji Aliko Dangote stands apart. In a nation that has produced giants, he remains a colossus. His philanthropy is not episodic. His philanthropy is structural. His philanthropy is generational. His philanthropy is visionary. And he delivers it with the same audacity and purpose that has characterized his business philosophy. He is not only the largest private employer of labor in Nigeria, he has also become the most consequential private investor in the rescue of our most critical sector, education. Where others see obstacles, he sees opportunity to rewrite destinies. Where others step back, he takes a giant leap. He is driven by a conviction that greatness is not measured by what one accumulates, but by what one enables others to become. Around the world, governments do not work alone. Every great nation counts on the large hearts of its most fortunate citizens to complement the efforts of the state. In the United States, private endowments sustain the world's greatest universities. In India, family foundations have built research institutions that rival the finest in Asia. In the United Kingdom, philanthropic trusts continue to fund scholarships, libraries, and laboratories. What Dangote is doing today is what the world's wealthiest have always done. They help their nations rise by widening the doors of opportunity. Your Excellencies, Your Royal Highnesses, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, these same gaps in our education system inspired His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to roll out bold and far-reaching reforms. Under his leadership, we introduced the Nigerian Education Loan Fund, NELPON, to create equitable access to education for all. We strengthened UBEC to deepen basic education infrastructure and accountability. We expanded 10 ponds intervention footprints to revitalize tertiary institutions. We accelerated technical and vocational education and training programs to reflect the needs of a new economy. We also mainstream digital learning as a core national priority. To reverse this reality of West Africa as a region that now carries the heaviest burden of having the lowest human capital index in the world, we must invest in education. We must treat education as a survival strategy. This is why the present administration treats the National Human Capital Development Program as a national emergency. We are bringing states, development partners, the private sector, and civil society together to reclaim our destiny. We are preparing our young people for a century that will be defined by skills, by knowledge, and by innovation. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this is a moment to remember that no society outgrows the quality of its thinkers. No nation succumbs to the aspirations of its most committed patriots. The legacy of Alhaji Aliko Dangote is a reminder that greatness is not measured by wealth. Greatness is measured by the number of lives one leads from the shadows into the light. We must learn from his example. We must also learn from philanthropists across the world. There is no legacy more enduring than giving another human being the chance to learn, to grow, and to live with dignity. Now is the time to recommit to building a future in which every Nigerian child has a fair shot at becoming the best version of themselves. Let us live our lives so that posterity will remember us not for the offices we held or the titles we bore. Posterity must remember us for the doors we opened and the lives we transformed. He has been living in the same house that he built 35 years ago. Is he a loud person? He doesn't have a house in London or in New York. He stays in hotels anytime he gets there. Even his twin brother is now that he is building a home in Abuja. I dress better than both of them. That is leadership. That is humility. This is why I am not afraid to be quoted anywhere. Aliko is an institution that we need to protect, preserve, promote for the good of this nation. I am quite glad. I feel like crying when I saw Alhaji Abdul Samad walking in. I actually cried when seated there, because we are all united by our common heritage of poverty and destitution. These are two of the shining lights in this country. I want you to envision where Zenith Bank merges with UBA, the kind of financial behemoths they will produce, or where Access Bank merges with Pace Bank, or where Guaranteed Trust Bank merges with Fidelity Bank. The hope for the black man rests with the people of this country. I don't want to make any diplomatic blunder by mentioning nations, but it is pertinent to mention that 1 out of every 4 black men is a Nigerian. And by 2050, we'll surpass the United States, will be a nation of 440 million people, and 1 out of every 3 black men will be a Nigerian. And by the end of the century, we'll be the most populous nation on earth. 1 out of every 2 black men will be a Nigerian. So I'm very comfortable in my skin. Yes, we are facing some headwinds, but no matter how long the night is, it must give way to the light of the dawn. Stormy, the weather might well be, but it won't rain forever. The Nigerian sun, what we are experiencing, is a temporary eclipse. The Nigerian sun will start shining once again, and brightly too. I appreciate you, Alhaji, fundamentally because here you are. Both of you came into Lagos in the 70s. Mr. Governor, there is a glass ceiling. He's expected to transport products of flour mills to Kano and Maiduguri and bring livestock. That was what he was created to do. That was what AGN Hamza was doing. That was what Grema Mohammed was engaging in. He came, he broke the glass ceiling, and became the leader of the Lagos Park. And he wears the Melokan cap. And look at him. So he's truly Legonized. And the chief executive officer of the Dangote Foundation is a Northern Christian. That's a sense of inclusivity. Zuwaira Yusufu, half Nigerian, half Nigerian. The mother is from Ningi and Bauchi State. The MD of the refinery is Mr. Edwin Dabalkura. Please stand up for recognition, Mr. Edwin. I don't know whether you are picking Nigerian citizenship, but from all indications, you are still holding on to your Indian citizenship. So Alhaji Aliko is a child of the world. Professor Ben Orama is one of his closest friends, one of the finest Nigerians we have ever had. Please, Prof, stand up for recognition. He was the immediate past managing director of Afri-Exim Bank. He did so much for Africa. He did so much for Nigeria. We are mightily proud of you. The president appreciates you. Every Nigerian business mogul appreciates you, respects you, cherishes you, adores you, and will continue to embrace you. Thank you so much, and may God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Good afternoon, His Excellency, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Senator Kashim Shettima, GCON, Your Excellencies, the governors here present. I know the governor of Lagos was our host, but he has a parallel event, governor of Kano, Nasarawa, Borno, and Gombe. Of course, our host, Alhaji Aliko Dangote, a man of, as we have heard earlier, a leader that has done us proud, not just in Nigeria, not just in Africa, but for every black man in the world to see that we can do it for ourselves. Thank you for your leadership, your vision, and your commitment. Without much further ado, the captains of industry here present, I think my colleague on the Federal Executive Council was here earlier. Let me just say, all protocols observed, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Let me first of all, I know we are at the luncheon, but earlier, and equally, if not even a more important event took place, and that was the launching of the Alhaji Aliko Dangote Foundation scholarship. You know, we heard the numbers, 1 trillion naira over 10 years. But what is critical is that when you look at the demographic, the figures that His Excellency the Vice President reeled out, essentially by 2050, 25% of the world's workforce will be African. And of course, at least 20% of that, if not more, will be from Nigeria. So the education is critical. We thank you for coming in and partnering with government in that critical area. And let me also take the opportunity, and we have our northern governors here, let me just mention that just last week, what I'll call the northern establishment, governors, traditional rulers, civil society, they got together and they committed that they would focus on the first 2,000 days of a child's life. That's about 5.5 years or so. And that's critical, because once you miss them there, honestly, Alhaji, the money that we try and spend later will not yield the productivity. So you need, and we have, the early concentration on the early education and nutrition in particular. And then we have the likes of Alhaji Aliko Dangote partnering with government. That's exemplary, and that is virtually everything you need. Congratulations on Vision 2030. You have put your stall out that you'll get to $100 billion, $200 billion in valuation, $100 billion in revenue. And you know, I think it was just about 2 years ago now, that we had a meeting of the Presidential Economic Coordination Council, of which some of you here are members in Abuja. And then Alhaji Aliko Dangote said, you know, we can do this, that in a couple of years you can turn the economy around. I believe that 2 years later, not only have they had these giant strides where Dangote Refinery is on the verge of becoming #1 in the world. Dangote Fertilizer is on the verge of becoming #1 in the world. But I dare say they have done it in an environment where, under the leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, you do have a return, a removal of the major market distortions. You do have a stable economy. You all know the metrics, which has created the environment, not just for what Dangote Group is doing, but what others are now looking at as Nigeria as a foremost destination for investment by leading companies around the world, as he has said. And it is on that basis that we can look optimistically forward, because it is not going to be government spending on critical infrastructure alone. Government is 10% of the economy. So it is critical that investors like Alhaji Abdul Samad, Alhaji Aliko, and so many of you here, it is critical that you feel confident and comfortable to invest in the Nigerian economy. That's where the productivity comes from. Sorry, Governor of Niger is here as well. That's where the productivity comes from that grows the economy, that creates the jobs, that lifts people out of poverty. And so, the message that I think we are taking is that we need to follow the example of the likes of Dangote Group, who are bravely, boldly, and committedly investing in the Nigerian economy, in the African economy, not out of sentiment, not out of subjective reasons, but for hard-nosed business reasons. And as he said, as the Vice President said, you know, he wished he had invested earlier, but you know, the next best time if you didn't invest yesterday, the next best time is now. And so we all have that opportunity. Let me close by further emphasizing that you cannot grow an economy with people standing on the sidelines or waiting for foreigners. It has to be mobilization of domestic resources, especially in this transactional world we have now. There's no empathy. There's a withdrawal of aid. The concessional flows to developing countries are reducing. Our development partners are here. The SDGs aimed at helping development countries, they are going to miss it by $4 trillion every year. So there's no interest in that. It has to be us by ourselves. And I would just say that it is not just the people at the top. It's not just the 500,000 or so stock exchange account investors, the 8 million or so people that have pension accounts that need to save. We all, at all levels of the society, need to save. And I must say that there are some top investors, investment managers, and financiers here. And under the patronage of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, they have the mandate to put in place a mass savings scheme that allows all Nigerians, no matter that their income levels, they too can participate in the investment economy. I thank all the partnership of the private sector for that. We must and we will put it in place. Let us also be bold and announce very soon, just like Dangote are being bold, they're being brave, they're being committed and confident that they will achieve this goal. By the grace of God, you will be a $100 billion turnover company by 2030. You will be a $200 billion valuation company by 2030. And of course, Nigerians will follow you in being able to invest and develop their country. Thank you. Thank you.
Our directors, my daughters, all our other, supporters. I want to also thank the Deputy Chief of Staff, Senator Hadeja, for coordinating the trip of His Excellency, the Vice President, because Vice President had to actually cancel a lot of engagement. Your Excellency, we are very, very grateful. I know your time is very, very tight, but we thank you for the love that you always have for us. I want to also recognize my brother who is here, Alhaji Abdul Samad Rabiu. You are very welcome. You've heard what the Vice President said, that we should merge. Well, let me stand on existing protocol. I want to really thank each and every one of you for honoring us, our partners, especially our partners in finance. Thank you for joining us today. It is a privilege to speak with those who really understand better than anyone the power of bold investment, disciplined execution, and long-term value creation. The Dangote Group stands today at the defining moment, one shaped by what we have actually accomplished, and even more by what we are poised to achieve. Where we're coming from. Over the first decade, the Dangote Group has actually undergone profound transformation from a humble beginning as a trading business. We have now built one of Africa's most diversified and strategically important industrial group. Today, as we hold a commanding leadership position in cement across 11 African countries, a strategic and rapidly expanding presence in petroleum refining, petrochemicals, and fertilizer, strong domestic position in sugar, salt, packaging, and other logistics. Today, we operate more than 18,000 trucks group-wide. 10 years ago, we embarked on an ambitious capital investment program over $25 billion. I was actually just telling His Excellency, the Vice President, and the other governors that we had issues. We had 5 years of delay in terms of land issues. 3.5 years Olokola, which were blocked by Governor Amusu, and 1.5 years with the problems that we had at Lekki, but they are all being resolved. I think I must really recognize and thank the Ooni of Ife for making us to be able to go in and build our factories. What happened was that when we got in there were over 19 shrines at the site, and nobody was able to even near them to do anything. Oni went there, not that he went there personally. He stood right there and said, okay, fine, remove all of them. Anything that they want, let the gods come and talk to me. Your Royal Majesty, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, because without that singular act of yours, I don't think if we would have actually been able to even build the refinery, not talk about the fertilizer. So thank you very much. So this 25 billion actually was one of the largest private industrial investments in African history. And I must really thank our banks. They did very, very well, most especially driven by Professor Benedict Orama, Afrexim Bank, Zenith Bank, Access Bank, Standard Bank, and most of these banks. In fact, they supported us blindly. When we started this, they never even ever asked us, where is your own feasibility studies? Are they in Bible or not? All what they believe is they believe in Dangote. We must thank you. Without you, I don't think it would have been where we are today. So I really, really want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. So the Dangote fertilizer was commissioned sometime late 2021. The Dangote refinery came online late 2024, marking a new chapter in Africa's energy independence. Our own revenues have actually grown in the last 5 years from $3.3 billion to $18 billion. Our EBITDA, which is earning before interest, depreciation, and amortization, increased from $1.8 billion to $2.8 billion over the same period. Governance has been strengthened with a renewed board and a strong leadership talent. And the Dangote brand has become a global symbol of African industrialization. We have actually proven consistently that Africa can build globally competitive, world-class industrial enterprises. Our success has actually been rooted in a very, very deliberate philosophy, insightful section selection, strategic policy alignment, large-scale, cost-efficient execution, operational discipline, and excellence. The fundamentals of our story have not actually changed. Enter attractive sectors, align with our DNA, build at scale, produce at globally competitive cost, and substitute imports with African-made products. Our vision for 2030, where are we going? Today, I want to share with you a vision that will define the next 5 years of industrial development on the continent. By 2030, the Dangote Group will become a 100 billion revenue enterprise with approximately, when we get there, we'll be one of the 100 top companies in the world. We will also have approximately over $200 billion market capitalization because we intend to list. And in our listing, even in Nigeria, when we list the refinery, by the grace of God, we are working with NGX, and we are also working with the SEC to make sure that we will be paying our dividends in dollars. You buy in Naira, but you get dividend in dollars. And I'm sure the most honorable Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy will give approval to that. The money that we are going to pay for the dividends are not actually going to come from the Central Bank of Nigeria, because from two products that we are doing, polypropylene and fertilizer, will be able to earn $6.4 billion of revenue coming into Nigeria. So we will have enough money to pay for dividends in dollars. To reflect this ambition, our refreshed mission and vision are clear. Our vision: to lead Africa's industrial transformation by building globally competitive businesses that make the continent self-sufficient and prosperous. Our mission is we build and operate world-class businesses that transform Africa's resources into essential products, creating jobs, value, and self-sufficiency across the continent. This is not merely inspirational language, it is a specific, measurable, and achievable roadmap that is already underway. To achieve our overall vision, we have cascaded the aspiration to our various business units. Dangote Refinery. The Dangote Refinery is now a key player in the global refining markets. Our products have actually reached various corners of the world. Going forward, we aim to meet the entire petroleum products needs of Nigeria and the African Atlantic coast from Senegal to South Africa. While becoming a meaningful global exporter, what we are trying to do is that we already, as a group, we plan to run 3,150 kilometers of piping from Walvis Bay to other African countries so that we can dominate that sector. We'll be doubling the refinery capacity in the medium term, which we are actually now taking it to 1.4 million barrels per day. And 1.4 million barrels per day will actually give us a leading position, bigger than Reliance, which is 1.25 million barrels per day. We are going to complete our RFCC revamp, which is, we're at 650, but we're changing now to make it to be 700 by the grace of God by end of January. We're expanding now to be very big in LPG so that we can transform and make sure that Nigerians don't use firewood anymore. They use now gas for cooking. We are going to have linear alkaline benzene. This is a raw material for detergent, which is not being produced in Africa. We are going to have a base oil production and also the trading capabilities to be able to dominate the African market. The refinery, like what I said, it will have 1.4 million barrels, but that will also allow us to have 2.4 million tons of polypropylene. And the majority of it will be export because Nigeria's consumption is about 400,000 to 500,000. Achieving a world-class excellence in our operations across various parameters, capacity utilization, availability, production costs, safety, emissions, etc. This will structurally transform the African energy balance. The Dangote fertilizer, our aspiration is clear: to become the world's largest urea producer and Africa's dominant fertilizer partner. If you remember, during the crisis between Ukraine and Russia, the chairman of African Union, President Macky Sall, had to go and start begging Russia to release fertilizer. That will not happen when we Africans were around. It will not happen again. We're scaling up about 9 to 9 million tons in Nigeria, and in addition, we're building 3 million metric tons in Ethiopia. We thought it was too much, but the Prime Minister was actually more aggressive than me. He said that, well, Aliko, we need it all because he's clearing 5 million hectares of land to give to his farmers next year. So total, we'll have 12 million tons of urea, which we are going to produce, and that will make us clearly the largest fertilizer company in the world. The next to us will be 7 million tons. We're going to achieve a world-class excellence in our operations across various parameters, energy efficiency, production costs, capacity utilization, safety, and emissions. We are going to expand the MPK offerings and direct presence in 2/3 of Africa. We're going to replace one company that was dominating the African market from Norway, so now it will be an African company dominating African fertilizer market. This will go a very long way in ensuring Africa's food security. On cement, we will retain leadership across Africa while building a strong export franchise. As you know, cement was actually, Nigeria was number 2 in the world to be importing cement. But right now, we have export terminals in One, we have in Lagos, in Apapa. We are also building one in Lekki. We are moving the cement capacity. By next year, we'll be at 62 million tons. By 2030, we'll be at 80 million tons. We want to maintain market share leadership across our markets. We want to achieve a world-class excellence in our operations across various parameters: energy efficiency, production costs, capacity utilization, CO2 reduction, and safety, etc. We want to expand additionally, the clinker export, digital operations, CNG trucking, and alternative fuels. As we speak today, our company used to go and, the cement company used to go and bid for about $24 to $25 million every month. As we speak today, we don't buy FX anymore. And by 2027, when our Itori factory is ready, is 6 million tons, is 100% for export, we will earn $500 million of export in just exporting cement. So we have potential to be Africa's what Turkey is to Europe, an indefensible source of supply. On the sugar front, we have actually, re-strategized. We want to be Africa's leading sugar supplier, scale our backward integration program to achieve domestic production for at least 500,000 metric tons of sugar. Achieving a world-class excellence in our operations across various parameters: yield, production costs, environmental impact, etc. And I'm sure His Excellency Engineer Sule will be very happy to know that, yes, we are moving ahead with the project. We are also trying to work with the Ethiopian government to take over their sugar and also establish one in Ghana. We are just waiting for the endorsement by the Assembly of Ghana to pass a law which will protect our investment. So we're waiting for that. As soon as it's done, we'll move there. The Dangote rice, we want to try and complete our 1 million rice production facilities, and possibly will increase it further. We have signed with Niger State to grow 1 million tons, which we guarantee to buy, and we will sign with other states that are interested. Peripheral businesses, our logistics, packaging, and port operations will become efficiency-driven profit centers in their own rights, serving both Dangote businesses and third parties. The new businesses that we have, we will selectively expand into sectors where our DNA gives us a structural advantage. They include creating a world-class indigenous shipping line. We are going to create a shipping line because from Nigeria we'll be doing almost 8 million tons of cement to 10 million tons. So we need our own shipping line, both of products and other things. I can see His Excellency Vice President is laughing that maybe we don't want to give a chance to. The issue is that, Your Excellency, we always try to cover our complete chain so that nobody will take us for a ride. In the petrochemicals, we are also looking at the possibilities of methanol. Gas midstream, we want to do the infrastructure to support the above, electricity generation, We are talking to some African countries. But the target is that by the next 5 years, we want to see a lot of countries that have issues, Zambia, Zimbabwe, and other African countries that are, crying for power. We want to partner with them and generate that electricity. And we want to look into steel manufacturing because a country cannot develop without steel. So definitely we are looking at that. And sometimes, why are we doing all this? I think why we're doing this one is not really about money, it's about legacy. What we want to do is to provide what we need in Nigeria and the rest of Africa. We are looking at mining and beneficiation of the critical minerals. The mining is not growing much in Nigeria. The reason being that even when you process, we don't have ports to export. And that is the reason why we have actually, with a friendly government in Ogun State now, we've gone back to Olokola. We are going to build the deepest seaport of 18 meters draft. And that will actually, be able to support us in the export of our minerals, and also not us alone, to serve other markets. And main thing is to crash the charges of containers in Nigeria, because the other ports are choked up, and I think they are overcharging people. We want to address that issue very, very quick. The infrastructure investment, example, roads, ports, these sectors are crucial to Africa's industrialization. We would like to transform our stock exchange, where shareholders, like what I said earlier on, I want to emphasize that in the future, Dangote refinery, Dangote fertilizer, Dangote cement shareholders, in these three businesses, we are trying to work out for them to receive their dividends in dollars. How are we going to get there? Institutionalizing excellence. We know that the scale alone is not enough. To achieve Vision 2030, we will strengthen the institutional foundations of the group. We are structuring to improve execution. We are strengthening project delivery. We believe we have done well in the areas, but as part of our continuous improvement philosophy, we'll be looking out how to strengthen this even further. What you need to know, Your Excellencies, Your Majesty, and other distinguished gentlemen, is to know that the refinery that we delivered was not built by Saipem, was built by Dangote Industries Construction, which was led by Mr. DVG Edwin. Edwin, stand up for recognition, please. Enhancing digitalization and automation to reduce costs, reduce cycle time, and minimize risk. I'm sure for some of you that have visited our refinery, you'll notice that you will not see any movement of people. It's highly connected. The instrumentation used, we use almost twice the cable that can go around the globe, twice. So we're going to improve overall management system to support a growing business. We are also freeing up the leadership bandwidth. Top executives will focus more on strategy, execution, and talent. I've actually begun stepping down from some of the boards to enable clearer governance and empowerment of operating teams. We are bringing in experienced leaders across operations, digital, and project management. And I'm sure when you look at the structure of our board, we have people who say that, look, we would like to actually join your board, if you will permit. We have 3 big people. One will announce later in the month, and who is a Nigerian, but not yet, because we are waiting for approval. But we already have the head of Tata Family Business, who is the chief executive of Tata and Sons, Mr. Noel Tata. He is joining the board 1st of January. And we have the former managing partner of McKinsey, who was ambassador of Canada to China, and also now the CEO of Rio Tinto, which is one of the biggest firms. He's also joining the board. Actually, he has joined already, but formally he will join on the 2nd or so of January. Our goal is to build not just a successful company, but an enduring African institution. Why are we speaking to you today? Ladies and gentlemen, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Africa is entering a new industrial age. But industrialization requires capital, partnership, and confidence. The scale of our ambition matches the scale of Africa's needs: food self-sufficiency, energy independence, world-class manufacturing, employment for millions, stronger forex position for African economies. The Dangote Group has demonstrated time and again that we can deliver Africa's most complex industrial projects on a world-class scale. But the next phase requires partners who believe in Africa's long-term potential. I actually just came back from the Middle East yesterday, yesterday. And we have had a lot of interest where people want to come and invest, but they don't have partners. And we told them that, look, we are ready to partner. The thinking of Dangote before, where we want to own the business 100%, has now changed. We can go as low as 51%. So we will definitely monetize the business and have more funds where we'll inject and put the money. We want to now go from that 90% to less than even 52%. I will allow Bua to follow. But actually, the next phase requires, these partners. They won't come and invest in Africa. They are really very scared about coming into Africa to invest. But we're going to remove that fear of, uncertainty, policy, somersault, and co. We will not get bogged down because we have a problem in X country or whatever. We are going to continue to cruise, and we'll get there. So your support has actually been very, very instrumental in getting us where we are today, and your partnership will even be more critical as we build the future we have envisioned. This vision that we have, I think our finance guy will take you through to where we believe we are going to be by 2028 and where we will go from 28 to 2030. So in closing, our confidence is not theoretical. It is grounded in hard numbers, delivered projects, proven execution, and a clear strategy. Our vision is bold but achievable. Dangote stands ready for the next 5 years, disciplined, focused, and determined. We invite you to walk this journey with us and to help accelerate Africa's transformation. Part of this transformation, I must also say that I forgot to mention one of the key banks, which has actually been very, very instrumental. That is the Africa Finance Corporation. We must thank Samaila for doing his own best. I thank you very much for listening. Thank you.
Yes, could you please come to the middle, Alaji? Thank you. Along with the VP. To do a countdown, just put your hand on the button there, and on the count of 3, you push it down. Okay. So what we're going to do is that you put your hand down, on the count of 3, you push it down, and when you push it down, I'd just like for you to move to the side and pay attention to the unveiling of the logo behind you, so that everybody else can see it. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Absolutely. So once he presses it, then we can just all move to the side. Thank you, Your Royal Majesty. Thank you so much. Okay, Your Excellency. So please put your hand on the buzzer. 3, 2, 1, and push. Thank you. Dangote 2030 $100 billion logo. Thank you so much, thank you so much, thank you so much.
God bless Nigeria. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for attending this event. And on behalf of the entire project team that put together this wonderful event, the Chief of Staff and his team, the MD of ADF and her team, including Zakari, the coordinator for this wonderful event, yesterday at Goodwill, and the Tory team that put everything together. I would just like to say a big thank you to everybody for working very hard to pull off this event. The lunch is served in the adjacent room walk-in. Please join us for lunch. And thank you all once again. Please get back to your respective location safely. Have a wonderful rest of the day. Thank you so much for coming and take care.
Well, this one is going to actually involve almost everybody, and that's why what we are trying to do is to touch every single family in the country. We are going to do it by local governments, and the local governments that we have, each local government will have about the same amount. The only thing is that Lagos and Kano will get a highest allocation. We are spending the 1 trillion because we want to invest heavily in education, because that is human capital. The human capital of our nation cannot be compromised. And that's why we say that even after 5 years, we'll review it. And like what I said earlier on, this thing will be sustained for the future generations of the Dangote family. And that's the reason why now, I've already signed up with my family, for the future, in the amount of, death. Everybody, we're all human beings. The 25% of whatever that I will leave behind will go to the foundation before it is shared to my, inheritors. So I think this one will give the foundation a very strong footing. All whatever that we're doing, the foundation will end up having about 25% of the total wealth that I have.
Alhaji, when your business goes continental, which of those African countries that you invest in, does it mean that the governments of such countries put in counterpart funding to your business, or you export capital from Nigeria and go and set up completely?
No, we're exporting capitals from other parts of the world to various African countries, not exporting capital from Nigeria. But the business, we've been working very hard in trying to establish the business. You can see that this year we have already crossed about $18 billion in revenue. Next year we'll be at about $32 billion of revenue. And by 2028 we'll be $71 billion of revenue. And we're establishing new businesses, ports, pipeline infrastructure. We are also doing power generation. We are doing steel. We are doing methanol. We are doing a lot of other things from the 28th to the 2030. I'm very, very confident that we'll meet up our $100 billion revenue by 2030.
Alhaji Dangote, Channels Television, on Vision, could you, and concerning the scholarship, you said a lot on the podium. What is your expectation at the end of the day? Can you add to it of what you want to happen at the end of the day by the granting of all these grants?
Well, at the end of the day, my own vision is that in the next 10 years or so, we should have millions of people under this scholarship. You know, we say that we are going to review. We don't want to really overcommit because we have gigantic projects ahead of us. So we want to deliver on our vision at the 2030, by the grace of God, when we are celebrating our vision target being achieved, we will look at what we are going to do. This one that we have done is just the tip of the iceberg. I can assure you, majority of people that are not able to afford education, we will educate them.
Thank you.
So we're not just saying, okay, so for Kano State, we're giving so many scholarships for TVET, for university, or for girls, but we're looking rather at all the 44 local government areas in Kano. In each one, how many girls and how do we take it all the way there? We've done this before when we've either distributed rice and made sure that it went to every single LGA. We've done it before when we did micro grants, which is where we gave money to women, to 1,000 women in each local government area. So partnering down into the community level is something that we've been used to doing, so we don't think that's difficult. It'll be the same process this time. So the number one question that I've gotten so far is, and so what happens if you say you have a certain number of scholarships allocated to a certain LGA and you cannot find enough candidates? Well, we'll just give them to another LGA within the state, but the number within the state is the same number. The allocation of the beneficiaries might change according to the LGA.